Good evening. Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us here at the Breaking News Desk. We have your top stories and, of course, your latest weather forecast, of course, up to the date minute. And we've been watching a pretty nice forecast unfold across the area. And the good news is that for the most part, it's going to continue. There's just going to be some hit or miss things here or there, some sprinkles, some showers, and then some warming temperatures. And we'll break that all down for you. Good evening to everybody joining us on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, all of the other streaming devices on your TV, including YouTube. Some viewers on YouTube with us right now. We're dealing with some very comfortable numbers out there. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're on your phone, go sit outside. 76 degrees here in Atlanta, 71 Kennesaw, Chamblee, same for Lawrenceville, 72 over in Covington, Noonan at 72. A little bit cooler right now in Dallas, where we are tracking the upper 60s. Broadview is showing that we're just dealing with some very comfortable numbers across all of North Georgia. And these numbers are going to be a little bit milder through the overnight. We're going to see those clouds gradually start to build in, and that's going to keep us in some very comfortable territory. We're talking low 60s for overnight lows closer to the city of Atlanta. If you do live outside of the city in any one of the suburbs, you'll be in the upper 50s. So a nice start to the day. Probably could leave the jacket at home because just good numbers all day from morning till afternoon. The best part of this forecast is that there are no first alert weather days. That's not to say that there aren't any rain chances. It's just that the rain chances are so low. The moisture that we see moves in. It's going to be so isolated and so light that we don't really think this is going to really impact much of your day. I don't think anybody is inconvenienced when they have to throw that windshield wiper on the first lever. Folks are going to still be outside playing baseball, still going to be outside playing soccer, and playing flag football and regular football. And also, what's that, the game with the paddles that everyone's playing now? Pickleball, yeah. That must be a new game, or maybe I'm just an old dude.
It's the hot thing.
It's the hot thing, right? Pickleball, this is good pickleball weather, so folks that are looking to get out and about, do that. Green light, have some fun, get your life. No real rain chances in the forecast. This 20% for tomorrow is looking real spotty. You can see that the 8 o'clock hour, I don't think this is going to impact many people's commute. If you're in extreme northeast Georgia, maybe a stray sprinkle, not going to be enough to slow you down on the roads. Will be partly to mostly cloudy for the bulk of the day. There is going to be some lingering moisture around in the afternoon, but you can see that these green spots are not widespread. They're just here or there, and that's why our rain chance is 20%. Just for a little bit of insight, we get our percentages based off of the amount of moisture that we think is going to be around and the amount of area that it's going to cover. And the combination of that gives us that rain chance, and that 20% lets you know that where it falls, it's going to be very isolated. We trend drier heading into your Saturday. So all in all, Friday is still a win, despite having a few more clouds around, despite a few sprinkles. We're still dealing with some very comfortable numbers in the low 70s as folks are taking their lunch break, so green light to go out in Piedmont Park. I always see people out there eating their lunch. This is going to be a good Piedmont Park lunch day. Getting into the mid to upper 70s by the time the kids get out of school and you're making your way home from work. This is good. Roll the windows down. If you have a Jeep, could get by probably taking the top off. Take the top off. You take the doors off too. Yeah. This for Blair Miller is actually right next to me. He's going to be giving you guys the latest headlines in a couple of minutes. But he has a Jeep too. I'm not going to tell you the color, make, and model because he don't need any stalkers. But this is good Jeep weather. Those sprinkles aren't going to do much damage if you even run into them tomorrow. If you decide to take your sweetheart on a bit of a date, I think the date night's going to be pretty fun tomorrow evening as well. Go ahead and call up the restaurant, make those reservations. Probably ask for an outside table because these numbers are just too good to be inside. We're talking low 70s at 8 o'clock, 69 at 9. It's going to be a fantastic evening. Get out and about into the streets. Your weekend forecast is looking pretty good as well. Saturday, there will be more clouds around than Sunday. Saturday will be a degree or two cooler than Sunday. But do you really know the difference between 69 and 71 when you're in the streets? They both feel pretty much close to the same. So they're going to be a win. Although we're talking warmer than 69, 71. It's more like 79, 81. But you get what I'm saying. 62 degrees for folks that are getting up early in the morning to grab breakfast. The rest of us that get out of the house at around noon, we're in the mid-70s at that point. We'll get into the upper 70s through the bulk of the afternoon, and then we'll see those clouds gradually break as we head through the overnight hours, and we'll see temperatures still very warm. Saturday night's a good night to be out and about as well. Sunday, fun day is looking fantastic. Sunday is the sweet spot in the weekend forecast. There's the Inman Park Festival that's going on both Saturday, Sunday. Sunday's going to be the more beautiful day to be out and about. 81 in Atlanta, 82 in LaGrange, 83 in Rome, 80 in Athens, all the way around. Just an amazing forecast for your Sunday. We mentioned no rain this weekend. The rain chances drop towards zero, but we are watching next week. We're going to see southerly flow bring warmer numbers back into the area. We'll get back into the mid to upper 80s, flirting with 90 degrees by the end of this forecast. And that's going to mean we see a little bit of moisture move in. The dew points creep up a little bit, but they're not uncomfortable. We're going to still have very manageable conditions out there. So if you like warm weather and you don't want the humidity, I think this is pretty nice for you. All in all, this stretch of 7 days is nice. It's good. I think we've had now about 10 or 11 days that have just been kind of solid in the forecast, and that is going to continue. It's just going to get a little bit warmer as we head into next week. So no worries there. Thank you all for joining me for my little segment on the forecast. Me and meteorologist Fred Campagna, we are in the back. We are working on fine-tuning that forecast for you all, and we'll have an update for you tonight on Peachtree TV at 10, and Fred is going to have that last look at 11 tonight. I want to take you out to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport where things are looking nice. An amazing forecast. First segment is weather. Second segment is top stories. There's been a lot going on, y'all. I don't know if you caught any of the newscasts earlier today. I'm not going to give it away, but there was just a lot of drama going on around the area with a lot of protests and stuff like that. And Blair Miller has the latest on that. And, of course, what else is trending? Blair?
Yeah, and Patrick, it's been a busy day, but it's also been, it's really been awesome weather out there. And I know we were talking a little bit before we came on air here, just talking about how you haven't been that busy because it has been so nice out there. And so I know that, frankly, we really all enjoy that. And so take the top off the Jeep and really try to get out there and enjoy it. So my problem is it takes me about 30 minutes to get into work. And so having the top off the Jeep isn't
I understand your pain.
messes with the coif, you know what I mean?
we have nice dressing rooms.
I know, we can change. Thank you
can
so
always
much.
fix that.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it. My name is Blair Miller. I anchor at 4, 6, and 11. It's good to be with you here tonight and recapping some of the top stories that are happening out there today and what we're working on here in our newsroom tonight, and really a big story that we've been following all afternoon. If you've seen some of the images from colleges and universities across the country and some of the protests we've been seeing. We saw a pretty significant one today at Emory University, showing you some of the video. If you haven't seen it already, it's really something to see what's been happening all across the country. But this was at Emory University today. Dozens of people were detained on Emory University's campus as multiple groups gathered to protest the Israel-Hamas war in Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. Atlanta News First had a number of crews out there today capturing this, and we saw at least 15 people in handcuffs as protesters clashed with police and Georgia State Patrol. Those detained appear to be students, non-students and professors, but we got a statement from Emory on this today, and school leaders said that several dozen protesters trespassed onto the private school's campus early this morning and set up tents there in the quad. The school's police department told the group to leave and called Atlanta Police and State Patrol for help. And here's part of that statement that we got from Emory here today, saying these individuals are not members of our community. They're activists attempting to disrupt our university as our students finish classes and prepare for finals. They go on to say Emory does not tolerate vandalism or other criminal activity on campus. Now, there's another rally happening here tonight, and that's something we're really going to have to watch. We have our Carly Barnett out there checking in on this to see how significant it is, and we're going to have much more on that coming up tonight at 11 o'clock to see what pans out there and really some of the fallout that happens after we saw some of the protests there today. In the meantime, another big story today is what happened at a middle school, and a bomb threat called in evacuating this school today. This bomb threat was actually texted to this middle school in southwest Atlanta, and we had the first alert chopper over the scene. But this prompted a lockdown, then an evacuation this afternoon, according to Atlanta Public Schools. The school district said a bomb threat came into Sylvan Hills Middle School. That's the name of the school. And police ordered students to evacuate. They sent everyone over to a nearby park while they checked this out. And Atlanta Public Schools police and the Atlanta Police Department investigated the threat. And according to the district, some of the information we're getting from them, they cleared that building, as you see some of the video and the police response out there, but they said that school will resume normal operations tomorrow. But what's even more concerning here is that this is the second threat in 2 days to an Atlanta public school. A threat was made to Benjamin E. Mays High School on Wednesday afternoon, according to APS. So this is something that we'll be watching with the investigation to see how this unfolds and if any arrests are made in this case. Now, we talk about what's happening in schools. maybe you heard about this week, and a big talker is what's happening with social media in our schools, and the governor signed a bill that will create some changes to what's happening when it comes to social media. The governor signed some education bills, including Senate Bill 351. That's the Protecting Georgia Children's on Social Media Act of 2024, as it's called. State Republicans fought for added restrictions to preserve the mental health of young people. But it's interesting because this bill requires schools to create a social media policy and limit what social media is used for in the classroom. The bill also requires social media platforms to verify the age of account holders under the age of 16. This bill imposes fines for those who do not comply. Now, on the other side of this, the Georgia First Amendment Foundation fought against the bill, and they say this bill claims to protect children, but puts children's information actually at risk. They also believe that any social media monitoring should be left up to parents, not the state. As a parent of 3 young children, all in elementary school, this is something you get very concerned about, thinking it's top of mind, certainly for parents. It's top of mind for schools, and now you see the state taking action. Another interesting part to all this, the bill provides a timeline for these changes. Schools will have some time to really implement this until the 2025-2026 school year to install servers or software to block unwanted sites and some of what we're seeing when it comes to social media. So there's a lot of time in there for this to evolve. Maybe it ends up in court with what's happening there. Also want to mention something that's been happening today. We've all been talking about what's been happening out of the airport, because there are some big changes out there that are certainly going to impact passengers, but it's also going to impact our economy. And our Madeline Montgomery was out there earlier today finding out more about this and seeing this firsthand. So here she is with her account from today.
I'm Madeline Montgomery. I'm here at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Right now I'm standing in front of 4 modules that are a part of 19 modules being added to Concourse D. This is all a part of a $1.4 billion project to expand that concourse in order for customers to have a better experience as far as where they can shop, where they can eat, how they have more space to sit around, and so that planes have more space and more gates in the area.
That report from Madeline Montgomery today out at the airport. So this certainly is going to impact the economy of those jobs, but how passengers get around some of the terminals out there as they try this new approach to really expanding some of the operations out there. So as we look ahead to tonight, we'll be here for the newscasts at 10 and 11. It is a big night ahead. We have the NFL draft happening right now as we speak. Our sports team is monitoring this to see who the Atlanta Falcons will pick up here tonight, the first round, and so that's a big story. Also, we talk about the rally at Emory University. It's happening after some of the protests earlier today. Carly Burnett out there, and she will give us a live update tonight at 11 o'clock. Join myself and Sean Gables for the news at 11 o'clock. Thanks for joining us here at the First Alert Breaking News Desk, and hope you have a good night.